Well, the BBC scandal around Hugh Edwards is not going away. And that's actually thanks to the BBC itself, the idiots running the organization. Now, at this point, this whole story is not really just about Hugh Edwards himself. It's now actually questioning the credibility and authority of the BBC because apparently his own colleagues are now throwing him under the bus. They're trying to completely shift everything and the focus from the BBC management and the BBC bosses. So other people are now coming out to complain. More new, fresh allegations against Hugh Edwards, this time from his own colleagues inside the BBC. So there's a few things that I want to ask and basically question certain things when it comes to this narrative. So firstly, let's go through this. You've got Luke Jones, who actually announced he works with the BBC. He's got an exclusive. He got together with Victoria Derbyshire and also Lucy Manning. Victoria Derbyshire got involved to announce these new allegations. Allegations of inappropriate and suggestive messages from Hugh Edwards to BBC workers. One said that they felt, one of them said they felt it was an abuse of power by someone very senior in the organisation. Now, these are serious allegations, and this is on top of everything else that's come out. Now, obviously, the first case about the allegedly the 17-year-old at the time who was 17, that has now been confirmed by the police that there's no criminal activity, there's no criminal offence that's taken place. Doesn't mean it's not icky or creepy, obviously, but this is not really just about criminality. It is about it being inappropriate, not being professional, especially if it's an internal matter. We know that, and it has to be dealt with. Abuse of power is an important issue. Having said that, the timing of it is interesting. Now, considering the BBC bosses are now under a lot of pressure from the public, and they have to answer some serious questions about cover-ups and everything else they've been doing, suddenly, the moment the police cleared him, and the moment he announced that he's got some mental health issues to deal with, they've decided to do a pile-on. They decided to say, okay, let's let's announce some new allegations. Well, they could have done it before. Now, again, you have to question the BBC. Because why wasn't it dealt with before? Why is it coming out now? So now Hugh Edwards needs to answer some serious questions. And obviously right now he's not going to do it because he's got some mental health issues. And then everybody else on the BBC are saying, let's not talk about the BBC bosses. Let's talk about how there are new allegations against Hugh Edwards. Distract us, right? That's classic distraction tactics. So this is Lucy Manning, BBC News special correspondent, saying more questions for BBC. This is so funny. Over the last few days, we've discovered a fascinating concept. The BBC reporting on the BBC, investigating the BBC about BBC rumours. Oh, the matrix is broken. Okay, so Lucy Manning says, as the BBC resumes its investigation into the Hugh Edwards explicit photos row, it is facing fresh allegations tonight of inappropriate behaviour by the presenter. A BBC employee has told BBC News that they received suggestive messages from BBC presenter Hugh Edwards that made them feel uncomfortable. BBC News has seen the messages, which refer to the staff member's appearance and were sent this year in 2023. Describing a power dynamic that made the messages inappropriate, the employee called on BBC managers to look into the relationship dynamics between presenters and the junior staff. They said that they have huge salaries and great deference is shown to presenters. And obviously this employee said that they were nevertheless proud to work for the BBC. Now the BBC bosses came back to say, we always treat the concerns of staff with care and would urge anyone to speak to us if they have any concerns. We have clear processes for making complaints. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I believe you guys. Yeah, there's nothing dodgy going on inside the establishment. It is embarrassing. And now this could be an interesting thing because of this conversation has been going around for the past few years about the BBC license. Oh, that also reminds me, yesterday when I did the live stream, I mentioned the license fee and the TV tax, and people kicked off saying, Maya, you're wrong. I was describing how, obviously, legally speaking, on the legal ground, the idea is if you watch the BBC, you have to pay the license fee. But on a technical level, that's not how the BBC see it. And if they had more powers, they would come after you even if your TV is plugged in, because BBC is included in your TV. So they want to do that. But obviously when it comes to prosecution, they can't get to you. We know that. So people were saying, Mahyar, you're wrong. You only have to pay the license fee if you watch the BBC. Yeah, we know that. That's not the question. The main issue is that on paper, they say that even if you're plugged in, even if you basically go and watch something on iPlayer, then you're going to have to pay for it. Now, again, they can't really prove it. That's the main question. And that's why they've been failing. That's why a lot of people have cancelled their license fee. They still watch the BBC. Not that they like it, but if something happens, they have to completely tune in. They would switch the channel, and no one's going to prove that you're watching it or not. Now, I'm not advocating for criminality, but the only way you could get into trouble is there's a court order against you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.